Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hot Topics, the show, the podcast where we create, transform, and
Inspire, of course.
there you go. This is Gloria Goldberg, the founder of the podcast Unbreakable Life with Glory, where I talk about depression, anxiety, and PTSD in a holistic way, a natural way to always make you feel better. And next to me, like always, my beautiful co host, Kia Baker.
Hi. my kid just walked in right then and scared the crap out of me. Yeah, so if you don't know me by now, my name is Kia Baker, and I am the creator and host of the Female Veterans Podcast, Women Warrior Stories for the Veterans Channel, which you can find out more about them at theveteranschannel.com, and success coach at London Real Academy, where it's beginning to look like our fearless leader is going to win Mayor of London.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I
it's
see him
looking
a
like
little
it.
I see him a little bit stressed out.
Oh,
I think
you can
yes,
imagine, right? Politics are
yes,
stressful. I would not do it. I don't know. Like, I'm very impressed by him to be
me
that
too.
passionate about a place that he's been living, that he wants to create a positive change there. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see what he does. They've got debates coming up, and we're getting close. The election is May 7th. So we're all patiently waiting to see what happens next.
He's been having fun in that bus, talking around the
Yeah,
London city, right?
yeah, for sure. Yes.
So he is into freedom. He's into justice, to balance, to to cut the corruption, etc., etc., etc. There's a lot of opinions about him, but you know what? We know him, and we know he have a very good heart, and we hope the best for him.
Absolutely. Like, I spent time with the man. I think he's really lovely.
Yes, he
And
is.
I mean, he's a human being though. So, whatever you hear, because you'll hear good and bad things, I'm sure, as the election gets closer and closer, because you know how politics are. It's a dirty
Right.
business.
Yes.
But having had quality time, like spent time with him and his wife actually, I know that he's a good guy, and he is human, so I'm sure he's made mistakes like we all have in his
Right.
life. But
Exactly.
the thing is, it's what you do in the present. It's what you do in the
Exactly.
present.
Exactly. How
So
you empower and help the humanity to be better.
hmm and after all, there are lots of mistakes we all make, but if you look at how many lives he's transformed through the London Real Academy, it is about the transformation. And it is a privilege and honor for me to help facilitate those transformations, and all kinds of people, from, people who are just trying to change their lives to multimillionaire CEOs. It's all the same. Everyone gets to experience that transformation on the most fundamentally human level, and it's beautiful to see and be a
It
part of.
is. It is. If you hear a sound behind this microphone that somebody is snoring, is my dog.
Well, my kid's playing right outside the door, and I'm sure he'll be coming in to, talk to me and things like that. So, that's life. We do this because we love it and we're passionate about it, but we're real, and we have
Exactly.
our own issues and our problems and our illnesses and our struggles, just like everybody else. And so we do it this out of love.
Exactly. So, Kia, today we have an amazing, amazing show.
I know, I'm so excited. I'm really excited.
It's like, it's a dream come true because you know how hard to eh, meet someone that is passionate for freedom. And I'm passionate for freedom, and also you are passionate for freedom. And and we was not expecting this guest to come in our lap. It was like like a universe throw him like that, like, here it is, Gloria, this is what you want, here it is. And I feel so like, oh my, pumped today to talk about this subject because the guest that we have in today is an honor to have it here in Hot Topics. What do you think?
I agree like 1,000%. This is incredible. Like, to hear this story is going to be just such a tremendous moment for us. And to be able to talk to you both and ask you both questions and sort of contrast your experiences. And it's just, I'm over the moon. I'm really excited for this. You know how curious I am. I have a million questions already brewing.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to hear the stories. And it's the stories that connect us.
Exactly. So I don't like to read, but I have to read his bio because it's extensive. So I don't want to make any mistake when I talk about his bio.
Excellent.
His name is Arjan Erkel. He was kidnapped for 2 years by the rebels in Dagestan, Russia. It was a nightmare for him, of course. Like, we go through, when we go into kidnap situations are very rough and we don't know if we come in alive. And also his unique story about survival, his quest for freedom and his powerful recovery, and that he's still inspiring. For 15 years, he thought speaking, workshops and coaching, Arjan inspired thousands of people with the message about freedom and taking ownership in your own life. He also the co-founder of Free a Girl, a foundation that is dedicated to freeing young girls from forced prostitution since 2008. And they have freed a given second chance to more than 4,750 girls globally. So, this is an angel for women, and I love that. So
he's a hero.
He's a hero.
He's a hero.
And I love that he just helping these women that are going through that, because I know how it's to feel kidnapped and you don't know what is going to happen to your life. So so to not go too much about this, I want to bring her in. What do you think?
Bring him. Let's bring him.
Let's bring him in.
Yeah, what a nice introduction. Hi, Kia. Hi, Gloria. How nice to be in your show.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome.
I'm so excited. I'm like a little kid in the park.
Yeah, we have so much in common, so that's nice. Yeah.
So before we start with the show, I want you to tell everybody where's your location, what time is now.
I'm in Rotterdam, in the Netherlands, which is in the western part of Europe, and it's 6 minutes or 7 minutes past 9 o'clock in the evening. So yeah, it's nighttime.
Awesome. So I want you to tell everybody, I talk a little bit about you, but I want you to tell everybody who is Arjan Erkel, so people can know a little bit about you.
Yeah, it's a difficult name for you, of course, but yeah, I'm 51 years old now. I'm married. I have 3 nice daughters, a nice wife, of course, wonderful. And yeah, the story of my life is that I was kidnapped while working for Doctors Without Borders. I've been in Sierra Leone, in Dagestan, countries I've never heard before of. And then I went to Russia, and then they kidnapped me because there was like rebels fighting for their Islamic State, like ISIS is doing in Syria. And then, yeah, for almost 2 years, I had to sit in a little cage under the ground, half dark. It felt like a grave. Every day could be my last day of my life, of course. I missed freedom. I missed my mother. I missed my girlfriend. I missed the warmth of people, warmth of hot water to take a shower, food. Yeah, you know what it is if you're kidnapped. And of course, every day, what was very difficult. And I cried a lot, but I tried to make the best out of it so that I could also have some fun. Even in the darkest places of life, you should try to make the best out of it. And that's how I survived. And that's
exactly. So my first questions to you, can you describe the very first moment that they kidnapped you? How it was, and what was in your mind?
Yeah, I was in the car together with a driver, and then our car was blocked, and I was already a little bit afraid or worried, and then suddenly 3 guys with guns in their hands started walking towards our car, And then I thought, oh, they're coming to pick me out of the car. And I surrendered. I just stepped out of the car and I said, take me. But one of the guys was afraid and he hit me with a gun. So I fell on the ground. And then for, I think, 2 minutes, they beat me up completely. They were using baseball bats, guns. I fell on the ground. I started to defend myself a little bit, but I was afraid that they would shoot me, of course. And then after 2 minutes, I was bleeding all over. I felt it. I felt in the sand on the floor. I broke my finger. I always show it a little bit. You can still see the little crooked one. So I was really in pain and in shock and so afraid. Then they put me into a car, and I had to sit on the back seat. 2 guys were sitting next to me, and they put a gun on my head here. So I was very quiet, very breathing very heavily. Another gun on the chest. So I was so worried and so scared. I've never been so scared in my life. I was really hearing my breathing and thinking, what should I say? What should I do? I don't want to die. I felt the tears coming up, but it was a very macho culture. So I realized I shouldn't cry. I shouldn't beg. I should say a smart sentence. But of course, I didn't know what was the right sentence to say. And then I think my intuition helped me and said, just say that you want to live. And in Russian, I said, "Я жить хочу." It means I want to live. And they said, if you behave, we'll most probably don't kill you. So that was the real start, full of adrenaline, so much worries about, will I survive? Am I strong enough? Will I ever see my parents again? But also, it's a big mistake I made. Why am I kidnapped? Why do I deserve this? So many questions.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's super brutal.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, contrasting Gloria's story, I can see the similarities already where, the cars sort of stop you. It's the cars that block you in. And then the men come, right? And
Yes.
I know that you were pulled out of the car as well and treated roughly, but not so brutally.
Right. They put me in the trunk of the car, and I I was like all over in the trunk because they was driving like very fast, but it was like our hand described. It's like you are so afraid that it's your mind is like 1,000 miles per hour that you don't know what is going on. And in my case, thank God, I'm so blessed that they don't touch me and they don't kick me the way they did to him. But the emotional sensation in the situation in the moment is something that only people like being kidnapped can tell how we feel. It's a terrific moment for us.
Yeah, it's horrible because
It's horrible.
suddenly you're not the boss of yourself anymore. Someone else, you're depending on somebody else's wishes, and that's
And your
horrible.
life is in the hands of them. So
Yeah,
you become vulnerable and you become like whatever, what are we gonna do? And like he said to them, you wanna leave. I also say to them, don't kill me, please, don't kill me, please, because that is the first thing that you think. You don't wanna die because in my case, I was thinking about my daughter. My daughter was 3 years old, so he was thinking about his mother, his father. It's like so fast everything, but it's like a movie, like very fast, and you don't understand that.
yeah, and it's also you don't know what to say because you don't know what they want to hear, and of course you try to find a way in between. For example, I was bleeding like so much, so even my face became red. Of course, I felt the blood on my chest, and then I was looking for humanity, for human behavior, because I wanted to be treated like a human being. But then some of the guys put a towel on my head, and I thought, wow, that's some nice gesture already. But then he said, no, otherwise the car will become dirty. So yeah,
Yeah,
his car was more important than me. So
exactly.
yeah, that's brutal. Yeah, for sure.
My goodness. So when you were in the car and you were able to come up with the statement that you wanted to live, what went through your mind when you arrived at the location?
Yeah, it was not really a location. They said, yeah, here it is. It was just somewhere in the mountains. They didn't have a house. They said, yeah, we didn't want to kidnap you, but we followed you for a month. And this was a lucky moment, but it was a bit too soon. And then I thought, oh, maybe it's just a warning. Maybe they want to kick out our organization because we were talking about human rights and all those violations. But then I asked, well, yeah, what is it? Is it a kidnapping? Where is the house? They said, yeah, it's a kidnapping. We want to earn money. Then I wanted to know how much, because I heard an average kidnapping could take 6 to 7 months, and I didn't know if I was strong enough. So I needed to have clarity. And they said, yeah, most probably we were going to ask $12 million. And then, yeah, I was also like, wow, that's way too much. And the funny thing, yeah, not funny, but yeah, the surrealistic part was that I started to negotiate already. They wanted to know, how rich is my family? How rich is my organization? So I told them, yeah, we're humanitarians. We don't have money. 12 million is way too much. And they asked me, okay, what do you think is the right amount? And then, yeah, because I wanted to live, I said 1 million. I think it's more than enough. And then they lowered till 5 million, but it's still so much. And I was worried about what was going to happen. Are they, going to cut off my ears, cut off my fingers, rape me? All these evil thoughts were there, of course. So much tension I've never felt. No.
Oh my God. I'm just kind of speechless because it's so horrifying to hear. I'm just thinking about, negotiating the price of your life. It's just, it leaves me sort of speechless, and that's pretty hard to do, I think. Gloria, when you arrived at your location, they, got rougher with you.
Yes,
because
of
you
course.
started to get brave, right? Once they put
Yes.
you tried to rebel, right?
Yes, I
And
try to rebel, and of course they come and say to you, okay, motherfucker, if you don't shut your mouth, we're gonna shut you. And I want you to write down everything about you. And I said, why, if you kidnap me, you already know who I am. And said, we need confirmation. So, and they put me the gun like right there. So what you do, you start writing down, because you became like, no, it's my life. And also I did the same thing like Arjan did. Like I started negotiating my life inside of the kidnap, because in one of the communications with my family say they don't have the money to pay for me. So I was in the limbo, and I said, oh my God, now they're gonna kill me. So I start crying, and I start like asking for like, please for mercy, to please don't kill me. And I said, listen, I have this and this and that. And they start like, okay, write a letter and tell what you want to tell them, everybody. And I was telling them, yeah, because that's the only way for you guys, because then you guys gonna lose this business. Because I right away like a business mentality, because I was the business. So I told the guy, this is the only way. That way you guys don't lose all the money that you guys invest and kidnap me. So the guy, like, I don't know how I did, but I said, okay, let he bring the paper, I write it down, and I kind of negotiate my kidnapping side, and I send the letter to my family. But my family didn't understand, and it got a little bit like a little bit like a worry about the situation, and then negotiate more money of what I was saying in the letter. But I did exactly the same thing Arjan say. It is like something that comes out because you just want to leave.
wow.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, it's just incredible that you start to see it as, okay, this is a business transaction. My life is a business transaction at this point. And it was making me think, Arjan, of how you said that the car was more important to them than your life.
Yeah, and that's difficult to accept, that you're actually just a product. But from the good side, it is you have some value, and the moment you lose your value, then it becomes really dangerous. So as long as you have some value for those guys, they will keep you alive. So I was always worried. I hope I still have the value. I hope my organization tells them that they want to pay, because if no one wants to pay, or they think you're a poor guy somewhere from the ghetto, then they're also not going to get rich. So they need to have the value. But for us, and also for Gloria, we want to be treated as human being, and we want to have respect. We want to have care. We want to have normal food, normal hygienic circumstances. But of course, you don't have it. There was no toilet. I had to go to the toilet with two guys sitting behind me in the bush, and then it's very humiliating. And for the first week, we didn't have any water, so I started to smell bad. You feel the sweat. You smell yourself. That's really horrible. Imagine
horrible.
for 8 days I didn't brush my teeth. So with my fingernails, I tried to clean my teeth, and then the thoughts are, will I ever survive? Will I go back to normal life? What happens to my parents? Will they be in shock? Will they have a heart attack? So there's so many things that takes the energy away. That's the hard part also.
I remember you were writing your speech, Gloria, and you talked about that, actually, about smelling yourself. That was a big moment, actually. And really, I think for all of us that heard your speech, it really drove it home.
Yeah, because you're used to, you're so spoiled in life. You're used to the good things. You're used to have a nice shower. You're used to have your toilets, your stuff, your shampoo, your soap and everything. And then when, like Arjan and me, we went, like, for me, I went to 11 days without a toilet paper. So I was smelling my own thing, and like he said, the sweat, the smell of your pee and your body odor, like your body, like you cannot even clean your butt. So it was like a very, humiliated, and me as a woman to have to undress in front of two guys and go to the bathroom, sit down in front of two guys. It was like humiliated, but in that moment you don't think that way, because you just want to survive. So you don't give like a damn for if they're watching you. You just want to have that fresh water. You just want to feel clean, like the minimum thing. And when you don't have that, it's like okay, is what it is. And I remember those days, and I just like, wow, like how I went through. And I found the soap, like with pubic hair, and I just removed the pubic hair and just wash my body with that soap. And a lot of us say, pubic hair in a soap, I would not even touch the soap. But when you are in that situation, you don't care about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, true. Even for me, it's now 16 years ago. Of course, I go to the toilet every day, and sometimes I even remember, like, how nice it is to be on my own in the toilet. It's really the gratitude that now I can go to the toilet on my own, and that's how much impact those things can have. That even going to the toilet reminds me of the kidnapping, and yeah.
Wow. I have two questions, actually, but I'm going to ask this one first. Now, I know from Gloria's story, the first 2 weeks were, I think, the most difficult for her. She cried 24/7. What were those first weeks like for you?
Yeah, the first couple of days were there were more difficult days, but it was very difficult to adapt, because after 1 week, those guys, they sold me to another group. So I came into the group really of rebels, with masks, with Kalashnikovs, with the uniforms, very religious. So they were talking about the Islam all the time. And they started to dig a hole, for example. And if you're kidnapped and you see people starting digging holes, then of course it's terrifying and it's breathtaking. And then you think, what are they doing? Is it going to be my grave? And they said, no, we're making a room for you under the ground in the mountains, because we were living high up in the mountains. And yeah, so that week was more or less introductory week. And then they finished my room, and yeah, I call it a room because it became my room, but it was really like a cage under the ground of 1.5 meters, like it's 5 feet by 7 feet. That was my space, and it was only 6.3 high, and I'm 6.3. But my head was always against the ceiling. And then when they locked me up there, because the first week I was in their room, and when they locked my door, then all my tears came out. First 2 weeks, I was the macho guy. I didn't want to cry. I didn't want to show them that it was difficult for me. Yeah, like sometimes you have to behave like a man. And then I broke down. And for 1 week, I was completely lost. I was so frustrated, so angry, so sad, so full of self-mercy. I didn't have the strength, or didn't find the balance yet to deal with the situation. And that was very difficult, because it was really like a grave. There were insects, all kind of animals, and I really blamed them for waiting until I would die, and then they will start attacking me, start eating me. I prayed a lot. I felt so, what's the word, hypocritical? What's the word? Because that's why should I pray in difficult situations? But I needed someone who could help me. I remember how small I was. I was really so small. Yeah, so painful, so alone. Yeah, Gloria must have felt the same, even worse. Yeah.
I don't know if this is worse or which one is
No.
worse. I did both are the worst, because you went into 2 years and I went into 3 months in the dark. So it's like no comparison. And I would never wish this on anybody, because it's they destroy you in pieces. And like you said, Arjan, it's like you became nothing, and you feel degraded, and like and you start why me, and then it's like you don't understand anything. And I was lost, like you said, I was lost for 2 weeks, until one day I wake up, I think I don't have no more tears in my body, and then that day I just came to realization that, oh, I need to start adjusting to the situation for me to be able to survive. And then I don't know how I did it, but it was God, because like you said, I was praying. I was not I've never been a religious person, but like you said, I became like more praying to God, like, why, please help me, get me out of here. I want to see my daughter again. That's the only thing I wanted, because the first thing I did in the morning was leave my daughter in the kindergarten, and then I couldn't pick her up anymore. So for me, it was like all kind of emotions. And then when I realized I need to start being different and accepting the situation, then my mind became more peaceful and more sharp, and more be able to see where was the flaws, or where I could be more different to be better in the situation, because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. You have no idea when is the day you're going to go and come back to see your family, or maybe you're never going back home.
Yeah, and the difficulty is, I think, the why question. Why? What have I done in my life that I deserve this?
Yes.
Yeah, because is it karma, or did you sin too much, or did I do something wrong? The injustice of the whole situation. It's so big, and yeah, so I still don't understand why they. Yeah, of course they wanted to have money, but I didn't deserve it. That's what I still think, of course. But lots of people don't deserve the fate that they're going through. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
On this show, we always talk about traumatic situations, people that are going through them, and we talk about it as a way of saying, just make it through it. Because when you make it through the traumatic situation, you will see later that it taught you lessons. Mm-hmm. And you can use those lessons to help other people, or, for whatever reasons, it's typically to serve others. Do you feel like that's the case with you? Like having this experience has made it possible for you to help other people?
For me or for
For
Gloria?
you.
For you,
me,
Arjan.
yeah, no, for sure. Of course, not while I was in this situation. Then I think in the beginning I was very selfish, and because I have to survive, I have to make it better for myself. I have to sort of make contact with those guys so that they can, improve my life. But later, of course, there were so many lessons I learned about, personal leadership, but also of how to connect with people, how to be empathetic to other people, but also how to be disciplined, how to be patient, how to be like a warrior every now and then, about pride and honor, but also about gratitude, about the power of visualization. And of course, there's so many management books being written, but the lessons we learned, we know for sure that what we did that worked to survive. And we can, of course, tell about other people that you need to be structured still, even in this situation, for example, with Corona, that you think, what is the structure in my life? But I know for every day I read a book, for example, 15 times, every day, 40 pages. So that was my structure. Every day, push-ups, sit-ups, so that my girlfriend will be proud that I came out and I had a six-pack and I didn't give up. But also, doing my best to make contact, because sometimes we give up because we think the neighbor, he doesn't deserve my attention. But if you really take time, I think we can connect with everyone. And that's also my lesson. So there's so many lessons, and it would be a pity if I had to go this strategy for 20 months and I didn't do anything with it. So I'm fortunate that at least I could have turned the situation and be maybe a guide for some other people, or like a catalyst, because there's so many choices we have to make in life, and sometimes it's nice if other people give the example of how to make the choice. That's how I feel about this situation. Freedom is important. Freedom of choice is so important, but also taking your own personal leadership, that you're always there in the situation where you are, and you have always two choices, or at least two choices, how to deal with it. So it's simple, of course. It sounds like a cliche, but it's true.
I love that you said that. I'm always talking about the power of choice, and talking about how, once we realize that we have a choice in the situation, we always have choices. It's what choice you're going to make from the perspective that you're looking at a given situation from, right?
100% true,
and so I really feel like, and for both of you, in the situations that you were in, you guys chose to live. In those initial moments of captivity, you guys chose, I want life. And you did then whatever was necessary to make sure you would. And here you both are, which is, to me, absolutely incredible. I mean, it just is a true testament to your character and your strength and your perseverance. And I always say that perseverance is a superpower. And this is a perfect example of that, right? Because it would be so easy to break in that situation.
True.
But look at you guys all these years later, even stronger. It's just incredible. It's incredible. So I have another question, though. I want to go back into your story a bit. And my question was about the ransom. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking about this as you were talking about it. And when you were negotiating and trying to tell them, well, $1 million, and they said 5 million. Did you know of any policy or anything of your organization? Had this happened before? Did you have any real idea of how they would handle it?
Yeah, there have been kidnappings before. And of course, they never tell out in the public that we pay ransom. But they do everything to get you out. So even, maybe paying ransom was part of it. But the problem was that the kidnappers thought that 1 year before my kidnapping, another guy from my organization was kidnapped, and that he came out because of 12 million. So the rumors were there that my organization pays ransom anyway. Oh. So that was the big difficulty. And And I know that if you don't pay, then they behead you, and they put your head on a stick, and they put this one, in the central place of the town, and then you still have to pay for the body without the head. So that was my worry, that somehow my kidnappers would think that my organization is not going to pay for me. And then as a sign, because it's an industry, like in Colombia, but also in Chechnya, in Dagestan, they do it for decades already. So they don't want to stop this. So they have to be tough on okay, if you think you're cool, we will stop it. And that was really my biggest worry, and a worry that a police force would come and enter the door and start shooting. And so I know it's not good to pay ransom, but to be honest, and I would love to hear Gloria about it. I didn't mind that people would pay ransom for me. It's selfish, but I wanted to live, of course. And I knew I came there as a humanitarian organization, so you also have to stand up for your principles. And so if you know about the risks, you also have to deal with the risks.
Right.
Exactly. And like you said, like in about the ransom, when I came to this country, to the United States, when I applied for asylum politic, they don't want to give it to me because they pay for me. And I said in court, oh, really? If they kidnap your son, you or your daughter, you would not pay for them to come back? It's like something very contradictory, because they said if they pay money, you are like supporting to them to continue. And yes, there's something right there, but also, what about my life? I don't care. I want to pay for me because I really want to leave, and I want to see my daughter again. So it was like a very contradictory, that thing. And who not gonna pay for your family?
True. Yeah, there's not a family who says, okay, kill my daughter, kill my
Yeah.
son, we don't care. No, of course. I thought for some moments maybe it's better to die, because then the 5 million can go to the refugees or to other people. But of course, the power of life was also very strong. So I even asked them, because it took such a long time. And I don't know if you know this feeling, if someone else is doing a task and you think you can do it better. Have you ever experienced this? And I thought, those guys, they are so slow. Let me do the negotiation, because if I do it myself, I will go out much faster. But of course, they didn't trust me. But I was waiting and waiting. And I thought, how difficult can it be? Just pay money. But then, of course, I realized you can only pay once, because, you want to know for sure that I come back alive and that they don't disappear with the money. So it's not so easy. But the frustration is the waiting. Waiting. It's boring. Every day is more dangerous, because if I lose my value, they will start killing me, and maybe they will start torturing me to make a point towards the people who have to pay. So it's very scary. The longer it takes, the less hope you have.
Totally. It's like when you are in captivity, it's like so the days and the time goes so slow that it's like it's like the time stops for you. And it's like I remember even today I have even that sensation in my body sometimes when I'm alone in my room in the dark. I always say, wow, I was like this for 3 months. And it's like the sensation. I remember the sensation, like, oh my God, I never gonna see my daughter again. And then some days like, yes, I'm gonna see my daughter again. But you don't see the sun, you don't see anything coming for you, because you ask questions and they don't answer to you. You ask, when is gonna be my release? When is gonna be my release? And they say, no, we don't have no communication with your family. And my mom told me that they communicate with my family 1 month after they kidnapped me. So imagine that. So it was like for me, I thought I was gonna come out quick, because money is money. And no, quick, it was not quick. It was 3 months.
Yeah, and I don't know if you have felt the same, Gloria, but of course you feel lonely, but sometimes you feel forgotten, or you feel left out. No, about your story, about your family saying, no, we're not going to pay them.
Yes.
How painful that is. And luckily, I sometimes also thought, why do they not act more quick? But I never thought they're not going to pay, or almost never. But yeah, those guys even had to make of course, pictures with the newspaper, that you're having your newspaper in your hand. And you said it took them 1 month in your case. In my case, it took 5 months. But imagine your parents, or my parents, not knowing what was going on, and also wondering, like, why is no one doing anything? And yeah, so many people are depending on this situation. It's painful for so many people, not only me or Gloria, but also parents, family, my organization. So that's horrible. And we talk easy now, because it's luckily we are free. But the pain, I will never feel so much pain and so much bitterness as I felt during those 20 months. But luckily I cannot re-feel it. There's no, I can think about it. I can feel some pain, but the big pain from that moment, luckily it's out of my body. But yeah, it was horrible. You said you cried a lot, but I was also wondering, where are all those tears coming from? How much fluid there is in my body that I can cry so many tears. It was just amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What was the turning point for you, Arjan, where you started to shift the situation from being so sad and so just feeling so vulnerable to turning it around and being more in survival mode of, like, I'm gonna make the situation the best I can for myself?
Yeah, like I said, it took me 1 more week in my new cage, and then I was always sitting next to the door, and then I thought, come on, be a man. I'm cultural anthropologist, so start using your study. There's never been any field research amongst Islamic rebels. Maybe I can be the first anthropologist who can do a study. I want to learn more Russian. I want to learn more about Islamic. So it was more about, okay, you're here now, make the best out of it, learn something about this situation. Maybe I can take something home, and I'm going to survive. I'm going to make the best out of it. I'm not going to worry about the ransom. Of course, every now and then I did, but I try to really focus on the things I can change. Like Kofi says, the management guru, the circle of influence. You always have influence on certain types. But like I said, I started to all the sit-ups. My room should be clean, and making contact with the people. That was really important. Make contact with the people.
Rhonda has a question. I'm deeply affected by your stories, Gloria and Arjan. Big question. Have you been able to forgive your captor? I will give you first, Arjan, to respond that.
Yeah, it's not about forgiveness, I think. It took 20 months, and within those 20 months, they started to behave more and more as human beings. They gave me more privileges. I could read books. Sometimes I could watch TV. I could be going out every now and then for 30 minutes in the evening. So we started to find a modus in life, in our microcosmos, that was more or less, of course, it's never on an equal basis, but there was more equality and more appreciation and respect amongst each other. So we managed to make a situation that we understood each other, and so there was no need to forgive them. I'm grateful that they changed in their way of behavior, that they saw me as a human being, and they started to become more soft. So I think I was lucky that I could manage to change them, but they also changed themselves, and that's why we managed to create a good atmosphere. Good atmosphere is a way too much, but so I don't feel bad about them, so I don't need to forgive them.
So Rhonda, to answer that question, is I've been having all my life a lot of masters, and the kidnappers one was the most, they master me in a way to forgive and to be kindness with the enemy, because it's so easy to be kind with people that you like, but it's so difficult to be kind with people that are hurting you. And I remember that I learned to start, thank you for the food, thank you for the water. And I start breaking them with kindness. And I never see them face, I only see the eyes. So I have the opportunity to see the soul through their eyes. And I have days that I laugh with them. I have days that they come and talk to me. And the day they released me, I was so grateful with them because I was not raped. They don't touch me physically. They protect me in a way. I understand there was their job and everything, and I understand that part. But for me, was the most important is I was alive and I was coming home to see my daughter. So the day they released me, I said to one of the kidnappers, can I hug you and thank you for protect me and to take care of me? And you became that way because you're so vulnerable and you are in the hands of other people that you learn that you, with kindness, you can conquer anything. So they was my biggest masters. Yes, I forgive them. Not like, yes, I forgive you. No, yes, I forgive them because they teach me to be the person who I am today. So that's my answer to you, Rhonda.
Yeah, it's
It's
amazing,
amazing.
this kindness, because, but also in the beginning I thought they don't feel mercy, they don't think as me as a human being. But then I wanted to have their empathy, but then I have to give empathy as well, of course. And like you said, uh, yeah, I taught them how to behave also, because I said, thank you very much for the food. I said, exactly, thank you that I could take a shower. And then they didn't want to say the same words to me, but after 3 words, one of the guys brought me my food, and instead of saying, "Mwah, here, eat," he said, "Here you are, enjoy your meal." And I was like, "What? What do I hear? What are you saying?" And he said, "Yeah,
Yes.
actually, you're such a nice guy." And I said, "Yeah, that's
I,
yeah." So
I,
it's
I, I also make them to bring me my favorite food. We was in December because my kidnap was from October 22nd, 1997 to January 28, 1998. So I was the whole December. And in my country, December 1st, you can hear fireworks. And then I said, oh my God, it's December, oh my God. And I still hear. And then I know the buñuelos and natillas are like the main thing for that Christmas. And I said, oh my God, I'm going to miss my buñuelos and natilla this year. So I say that. And then 2 days later, the guy bring me 2 buñuelos and natilla. And I remember eating two buñuelos and natilla like piece by piece. And I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing I ever had. So you start like embracing every single thing is possible, even the first breath that you take in the morning when you wake up. And it's like, I think that's amazing.
yeah, and of course people will start talking about the Stockholm Syndrome and that you make
Yes.
friends with the enemies. But I think as long as you don't fight for the same goals or the ideals that they do, because they wanted to have this big Islamic country, I said, no, that's not what I'm going to support. But you can find human connection. I think that's important. And of course, they would have never thought about bringing you this kind of food, but you make them do it, and because there is this magic that people will grow to each other anyway if you do your best and if it's real. I think if you're with truth and kindness, you can reach so many people.
Oh, yes.
I was just wondering, I didn't ask for it, but he started to, one of the guys, after I think 14 months, he said, yeah, I made you some French toast. And I'm like, wow, yeah, why did you do that? But he said, yeah, I think you deserved it or something like that. And of
Yes.
course you can think, why should I be grateful for someone who takes me 20 months away from me, and then you're thankful for one piece of French toast. But yeah, it was not his task to make French toast, so it's somewhere he also changed.
Well, you know what? I think as I'm listening to you both, while it is vastly different, I'm going to say that what helps me to understand your experiences is boot camp and what I experienced there. It is vastly different, believe me, because I put myself there. But when you get there, there's a whole culture shock, right? And then they do everything to sort of break you down out of your old self to build you back up into the sailor, soldier, Coast Guard, or Marine, or Air Force airman that they want you to be, right? But what happens along the way there are things like open bay showers and open toilets, so you don't have that privacy. And I remember, as you guys were both speaking, how incredibly invasive that felt to have to use the bathroom in front of 100 women, right? Like, and shower in groups, right? Like, and while it is again vastly different, you learn to adapt to that environment. So as you're saying, well, we were kind to our captors, and we were able to adjust to the situation. They became your new normal, just like boot camp became my new normal, and I was able to adapt to that situation as vastly different as it was from my life prior to survive it, because in a way you have to survive boot camp too. So I while it's completely a different situation, I can sort of understand where you're coming from when you say these things, because you sort of have to assimilate. And when you're saying you're watching TV and Gloria, they brought you buñuelos, right? You had the French toast, and you're grateful for that. It's because that was your life for those months.
Yep. Definitely. Yeah, I believe so. And sometimes I think everyone should have a boot camp. Of course, we need sometimes to go to the limits of our behavior, because then you grow and then you appreciate life again. But it also makes you proud that you've shown discipline, you've shown perseverance, and we need it every now and then. Sometimes I think we make society a bit too soft, and we don't have resilience anymore. But of course, it's better to go to boot camp than to be kidnapped. Right?
To choose, right? It's something I chose, whereas you had no choice, and it was terrifying. So I guess my question is for you, Arjan, when you began to connect with them and interact with them more, right? Obviously, they were talking to you about their extremist beliefs. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned just a minute ago that you didn't agree to that. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, in the beginning it was difficult because I have my Christian background. I'm from the Netherlands, which is quite liberal on homosexuality, on abortion, these kind of things. So in the first day when I came to the new group, for example, they asked, do you have homosexual friends? And radical Muslims, they hate homosexuals and they kill them. And so I was thinking, what shall I say? And because that comes to your inner freedom. And I have to admit, I told them that I don't have any friends like that. But one of my friends, he is a homosexual guy. So I betrayed myself, but I also betrayed him. And then he said, yeah, that's good, because we want you to become a Muslim as well. Because in many cases, they try to change your behavior and your religion. But then I said, no. I'm never, ever going to give up my background. I'm not going to give up my Christianity. And sorry, I lied about a friend of mine because he is a homosexual guy, and I don't care, because that's me. And actually, it was very scary to say such a thing, because maybe they would beat me up or kill me or whatever. But then they said, yeah, we respect you for that. And actually, it gained so much respect because I showed my real self. And then, actually, they didn't mind me discussing these kind of things with them. Sometimes it was boring because that's almost the only subject they wanted to talk about. But then I learned also, people have their faith and it's important for them. And of course we can discuss about it, but it's very difficult to change people. And sometimes as an anthropologist, it's also good to participate and to observe. So I was really interested, what does it do to them? And why do they choose for this kind of life? So it was more learning experience. And it also has good things for them. I don't agree at all with their religion, with their goals, but it's interesting to see how a group of 13 people lives together, fights for their culture, fights for their vision, and it was very disciplined, and so it was. I don't like it at all, and but to look at it from a neutral point of view, that was also interesting, and at the end they gave in because in the beginning, for example, I asked them, can I cook or can I help you cooking? And they said, no, because you're haram. I don't know if you know this word, that it's not clean. You're dirty. Not because my hands are dirty, but because I have the wrong religion. And I said, yeah, but come on, I'm a Christian. I can also touch your food. And normally they would not have accepted that, but they said, okay, you can touch our food. So these kind of things. For example, they never talked about sexual things, but after sometimes they said, yeah, you're from the Netherlands. Maybe you can teach us something because you're so much more liberal. I won't tell you the details, but yeah, at the end they came with all kind of questions to me. So yeah, it was really interesting to see that people, yeah, I don't know the word in English, but that they lose their the sharp edges, so they became more round and soft. So that was really interesting, and that was also my task, because in the beginning, I think, Gloria, I can hear the same. It's functional. You want to have functional contact, but at the end, you really start to grow closer to each other. And that was the amazing part, that you can live with respect. And of course it's not going to be friendship, but it's not because of hatred or because you're afraid. It's real contact.
Wow, that is so incredible. I think of it like when you were saying you sort of studied them and you got to talk with them about their ideology and share your principles. It's almost beautiful, like in a way, because maybe you're not going to change their perspective, but if they're listening to you, they're becoming more aware of a different viewpoint of their own than their own.
Yeah.
And that's actually kind of lovely. It's like here we have a lot of conflict over political beliefs. It's very divisive in the United States. And so typically I don't like to discuss politics with people because I'm old fashioned and that's how I was raised. But I also see the benefit of being able to have that conversation with someone who has different beliefs than your own, not to try to change their belief, but to try to truly understand why they believe the things that they do and show them why you believe the things that you do, and maybe have compassion for one another. And I think that's what I've learned from what you were saying, is that there was so much compassion that developed between both sides that is like you wouldn't think it would have been, but it existed there. And that's the same thing for you, Gloria.
Definitely, because it's like when you are in survival mode, it's like you do stuff, incredible stuff. I would say miracle things happen, and it's because you're willing to open yourself to the situation. And in my case, I didn't have too much human contact like Arjan. The only human contact that I have, it was when they bring me the breakfast, the lunch, and the dinner. And I remember, like, every time in the morning, I can't wait for the guy to bring me the breakfast. And not because the food, it's because I want to see the person. I want to talk to that person. I want to listen to them. And also I have the opportunity to one with them, with one of the guys, to sit down like some days, and he started talking to me, and he was explaining to me about his organization, what they do, why they was doing it, and for me to listen. So I got like I create on them the trust, and I kind of have to trust them because I have no choice. But I got the trust on them that they can go inside and sit down and talk to me. And sometimes they come without a gun, because I was kind of a little bit uncomfortable when they always come with the guns. And the guy understand that, so the guy leave the gun outside and come in and talk to me. So that was kind of beautiful to feel that connection with them. And in the beginning, when they released me, I feel like a guilty. I said, oh my God, I was laughing with them. I was talking to them. We have exchange of a lot of information. And then I said, well, that was my only possession in time. And I didn't know better. So it's, it was a very hard moment, but also I learned tremendously how to be in a situation like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's no, like I would never do it again. But for example, I learned so many things about myself that it's been a tough school, but it's a university of life, and yeah, in that way, I'm happy that I experienced it. But of course, I would never ever want to do it again. And
No, 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 no,
if
no.
you ask me, if you have the choice to do it all over again, I would leave that episode out of my life, of course. But for example, there's also sometimes we are afraid, or maybe sometimes we are behaving like a coward, because it's two different things. I had to box with them, and no, I'm quite big, and they were smaller, but still, it's quite. That's not something you want to do, to box for real without gloves with your kidnappers, and then. Yeah, I had no choice. In the beginning, I thought, okay, I will just defend myself, and I tried to dive away. But then at a certain moment, one guy hit me so hard that I felt like a black eye coming out, and then I also went loose, and I hit him a couple of times, and he said, please stop, go back to your room. And then yeah, I was bleeding, and I was so proud that I beat him also, and he came with a mirror. And I had really a big black eye. I've never seen such a big black eye on myself, because I did some boxing. But then he was so nice to take away his mask and show me that he had a black eye as well. And then I learned vulnerability is also good sometimes to show. And we always try to be more tough and more cool than we are. But if you feel free enough to show your vulnerability, you're more free, because you're more open, you're more real. So
Yes.
being vulnerable gives freedom as well. So yeah, it's another lesson. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I love that. I think we walk around, just like you said, trying to be cool, trying to like um, keep ourselves safe and protected. But it's showing your authenticity and vulnerability that actually connects you with people.
Yeah.
Totally.
Can I say one more thing about that?
Of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
because at a certain moment there was an ultimatum video made, and they really threatened to kill me. I had 10 more days, and then if no one would pay, they killed me. So in my room under the ground, in between all the insects, I was really wondering, like, who's going to kill me? How is he going to kill me? And then I asked them, and they said, yeah, we'll hire someone. So I managed to make contact, but it didn't help me, because they would hire someone to cut my throat. And then I said, why don't you shoot me? In my head, they said, yeah, but if you shoot here, it's not always 100% sure that you will die. So I said, okay. And I was in my room sitting there, and feeling really bad, of course. And then I asked them, can you shoot me here, so that I'm definitely dead? Because now if you shoot here, the bullet goes out. And they said, yeah, but it's not nice for your parents. And I said, why? Because if you shoot here, this hole on the other side, it's very bad and big, and it doesn't do good for your parents. And then I had to think about my parents, like how much pain they have, but also how their life would never be over if they didn't find out if I would have been executed already. So with tears in my eyes, for the first time they saw my tears, I asked them, please, can you put my body next to the side of the road if you kill me? And of course it hurt, and my voice broke, and I felt weak. But then those guys also said, please don't talk about these things, because otherwise we also start to cry. So there was such also a strong connection point because of vulnerability. So
That also happens to me when I break down, when I hear my family that they was not gonna pay anything for me. I broke down in tears, and I just begged them, and I went into my knees begging the guys. And I remember one of the guys left the room, and the other guy was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry for you. oh my God, I would do all my power to help you to get alive from here. So they already feel sorry for me. And I said, well, when they left, I said, well, what's gonna happen? But I have the hope that at least one of them, it was already feeling my pain. And yes, he
Yeah.
did.
Oh my God. You guys, I'm telling you, I hear a lot of stories on the Female Veterans podcast that are shocking and upsetting, but these are just, it's like an emotional roller coaster to listen to you at the same time. It's wow. I'm really speechless. When you found out that you had 10 days and you went through all this process, I imagine that they got the news within the 10 days that they were going to get the ransom. How did that play out?
Yeah. Yeah, I hope that they would pay, of course, but I was not 100% sure about it. And then what I did was my life worth living? And luckily I had a nice life, but it also, of course, depends how you look at your life. Everyone has ups and downs, but I looked at my work. I thought, yeah, I had a perfect job. I have a very nice and caring family. So even if I die, I made the best out of my life so far. But and even the work with Doctors Without Borders, I had such a good job that I even made it in balance. It was in balance. The good things in my life added up so that I could deal with the bad things in life. And that's what I can tell everyone. Please find a job that is good. Find a family that's good. Do the best to make the best out of your life, really, also in freedom, or even nowadays with COVID-19. And then of course, I wanted to live, but it was also like, I wanted to have clarity about the future. So even dying was okay, because now I talk easily about it, but for 20 months it was really hard and painful, and I never knew if it would help. Everything I did, maybe it didn't help at all to be released. So even the death would feel like a solution at that moment. Even in my message, I said, I hope it will end one way or the other, because I need an end, because that will, my power sometimes was also gone, of course, the energy that leaked away. So that was really interesting to notice that dying is of course, we're always afraid for dying, but when it's so near, and if you come to peace with yourself, I think it's dying is not so painful as we think.
Exactly.
Again, peace amid chaos is an incredible lesson. Finding that peace in all of that just turmoil and terror, that just being in a constant fight or flight feeling. It's just, wow. It's just overwhelming to me how you made it through that. And so what happened next? How did you find out that they had opted, to keep you alive, and because of the ransom?
Yeah, so their boss, he came, he said, yeah, they didn't pay the ransom, but we'll keep you alive. And then it took another 10 months before I was released.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it was horrible. But yeah, I think I made, it's the same what Gloria said. One of the guys started to care, and he made sure that, of course, I don't know if I have to believe him because I've never met him again, but he said, I'm going to make sure that you will get out alive. And so that also gave me hope. And of course, the family, I knew my family wants to get me out. I knew my organization is doing the best to get me out. I know I'm still valuable, and I want to live. So these kind of things also help. But yeah, sometimes you don't feel the support, of course. And that's the painful moment. Like, yeah, sometimes I had to suffer on my own, and no one there to put an arm around me, or no one to come with a bottle of vodka and to get wasted. these kind of things. So that's but that's also, I don't know how to say it, but even nowadays with COVID, we have our Netflix, we have our laptops, we have games, books, everything. I didn't have anything, but I could find happiness within myself. And yeah, and I'm not an introvert person, so I think that's also a lesson. We should try to find happiness also within ourselves. We don't, of course, it's nice to have people around us, but it's better if we don't need them. Yeah, I don't know if you understand, but if you can make happiness out of yourself, yeah, you can deal with much more pain and misery and um, yeah, and there's so many things you can. And that's also the choice that we talked about in the beginning. That you always have a choice to make your life interesting and to be curious. I think curiosity is also one of the powers to stay alive and to be open and yeah, to discover the world, to discover other people, to discover yourself. Yeah, the power of curiosity. There should be books written about the power of
Yes.
curiosity.
In my case, I count my lines of my hand. I look my hands so many times because I didn't have a mirror. So I was like looking into my body. I train my five sense. Like I start recognizing that I can go closer to the door, and for me to be able to hear what they were saying, I have to shut this ear, shut this nostril, shut the breathing, and amplify this ear so I can listen more. And then my eyes was more like a learning how, because I didn't see the faces of the guys. So I started learning how behaviors, the voice, the sound of the voice, who was the leader, who was the follower, the way they move their hands. So I started learning that without knowing, because you're in survival mode. You're only focused in that. I didn't have a book, I didn't have a magazine, I didn't have a TV. I just have myself. So I have to have fun with myself. And that's what I did. And also going back to the kidnappers, when we talk about the truth, and I'm alive because one of the kidnappers got the syndrome, Stockholm Syndrome, and he got in love for me, and he showed me his face, and I said, there's something wrong here. This guy's not following the rules of the organization. And then I discovered who was the leader, and I said, listen, I want to talk to you. This guy could bring the breakfast for me. I saw his face. So the guy got mad, and I said, oh my God, now what? Now they're gonna come and kill me because I opened my mouth, and now I recognize their face. So 3 days later, the leader come inside and say to me, you know what, again, we gonna save your life just because you say the truth. And I said, what happened with the guy? And he winked the eye and did this to me. Don't worry, you know what happens. So they kill him, but it was him or me, but I didn't do something for him to be killed. I was saying the truth, and the guy didn't follow the organization. So it was his fault that his life, they took away his life. And I didn't feel guilty because they killed him, because I was saying the truth.
Yeah, well,
I mean, really, that is just, I can't even
Choices.
imagine, right? The power of choice chose your life. Wow, Gloria, that's crazy. I mean, it never gets less shocking. Every time I hear it, it's always like, wow, I can't even imagine everything that you went through. Gloria, I know that the day that they told you that you were being released was just so overwhelming emotionally.
Oh, yes, it was the longest day of my life. It's like eternity, like eternity. I was knocking the door maybe every 30 minutes, and the guy said, can you stop being patient? We don't know what time we're gonna release you. And I said, well, you ready guys have the money, so I wanna get out. So I think I knocked the door like maybe 30 times. And just the last time, the guy got very annoying with me. And he said, if you keep one more time knocking that door, then I'm not gonna release you. And then, okay. Gloria stopped doing that. And then when the guy said to me, it's time to go, I said, and I hugged him. I said, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna go see my daughter again. I was like so amazing. So the guy was giving instructions to say, he said, I'm gonna put you in the car. I'm gonna like hold you like this. You cannot see my face. I said, of course I'm not gonna see your face. You think I'm so stupid now? I'm like in the bottle of just to have my freedom. You think we're gonna be so stupid to see your face? I don't care about your face. And I remember he saying that to me, and then he said, okay, get out of the car and just wait for 10 minutes, and then you start walking. And I was like, okay. And I get out of the car, and I remember it was 10, 20, 30 minutes. I was there like that. And then I just like realized that I was free. And I started walking, and I was so like, so lost. And the guy gave me coins and money. Coins to dial the number to call my family, and money to get the taxi. And when I used the coin, I didn't remember the phone number of my house, and I didn't know how to dial. I was so overwhelmed, and I got so like in a rush, because the guy said, as soon we release you, you need to find right away to go to your house, because there's another group looking for this release, because they want to get you back. They want to get you too, again. And I was like, oh my God. So I got the taxi. The taxi guy didn't know anything about it. So when I said, take me to my house. And the guy looked at me and said, where's your house? And I said, where I am. And he said, are you okay? And then I said, yes, I'm okay. Okay, this is the address. And I got home, and they took the guy out of the car. They just, revised him everywhere. I said, no, he don't know anything about it. I just got him random. And then it was like, just like that.
Well, I never realized, of course we talked, but that there was no one waiting for you at a certain moment. You just had to get home yourself.
Yes.
Wow.
And I didn't know how to dial the phone. It was so nervous, overwhelming, because the guy said to me, we're going to release you, but you need to get out to your house as soon as possible, because there's another group looking for this release. Yeah. You know what you do.
You don't want to go
let's
back.
do it. I don't know.
My God. Oh my goodness. Arjan, I mean, you spent such a long time there. I have to know, like, what was it like when you found out that you were gonna be freed?
No, I never knew, because
you didn't know.
No, they said we're going to give you to another group, and then you have to stay for maybe 2-3 weeks, and then they might release you. So for me, it was actually very scary, because for 20 months almost, I stayed with the same group. And now I was really worried about how is the other group going to deal with me? Are they going to rape me? Are they going to torture me? So that was really, so worrisome, that I thought, okay, I'm not sure if I can have the energy and the power again to integrate or to assimilate. And then they put me in a trunk of a car, and they didn't give me anything. We moved a couple of times, and they always gave me one bag with my sleeping bag, with the toothbrush, with deodorant, with some extra clothing. And now they said, you don't need anything. And like, why don't I need anything? Yeah, because everything is in the new group. But I thought, okay, maybe they're going to kill me, because I didn't. So, and then in a trunk for hours, and that was also, I didn't know what to expect. And then I saw two guys when they took me out of the trunk without any mask. So I saw faces, and really ugly guys, not ugly, but how you call it, scary guys. And I thought, these are evil men, and they're not afraid to show their faces. But they said, welcome home. I said, welcome home? What do you mean? Yeah, welcome home. We made your release. I said, wow, it was a military action. I said, I didn't see any militaries. I was just put in the trunk. They said, yeah, but this is Russia. That's how we call it. But I didn't believe them. I was just afraid that they were going to shoot me, because I saw their faces. But then a very sweaty Russian guy came with a mobile phone in his hand, and that was the Dutch embassy. And I got one of the diplomats talking to me, and he said, yeah, it's Easter. nice symbolism, because Jesus Christ, he resurrected again, and I also felt like, wow, I got a second chance. Then I took a shower for hours. I took a bath, and that's what I remember. The guys, they brought a cake. He said, I don't know if it's true, but he said, my mother baked this cake for you, and it's the first time in years for that the Roman Catholic Easter and the Russian Orthodox Easter came together. So it's such a strong party. And I wasn't allowed to call my parents or anyone. And I remember they sent a charter plane to pick me up. And it's the first time that food in the plane is nice. And I was looking at the nice stewardesses, like, wow, because for 20 months I didn't see any women. Of course, I was like, and I had a beard, and I was really I lost 40 pounds. So I was like, but then I saw the ambassador. That's what I remember. When I landed, the ambassador was waiting for me, and ambassadors, they're always those stiff diplomats. But I hugged him, and he was just standing like this. And then finally, he also hugged me, and that's the first time I felt safe. Like back in Moscow, 2.5 hours flying away from the bad place in Dagestan. And then I called my girlfriend, my mother, my sister, my brothers. My father flew back to Moscow to pick me up. That was really amazing. I was waiting in a room for my father to walk in the same room. And we looked at each other. We started crying from happiness. And we both saw that he worried about me what happened to my mental status. But he said, I see that you're okay. And I worried about my parents, of course. But we were crying. And then we were flying back to Holland. That was also amazing. I'm not like a nationalistic guy or something, but I wanted to kiss the floor in Holland. But first, I will never forget my mother. She's quite like an old lady already, but her arms, I think, grew twice the size. So I walked down the stairs, and my mother was waiting there, so happy with this happiness on her face, like my lost son. And he came back, and this hug was also fantastic. That I will never forget her smile, and she never complains anymore about the kidnapping. She's just pure. I think she's just happy that her son came back, and all the past evil things from the past, they are gone. And it's a big story, but there were so many nice people that helped me during the kidnapping, but also after the kidnapping, because I was famous. There were so many postcards and people being nice, giving presents, giving attention, and that also helped me with my recovery. I don't know, Gloria, how were you received when you were free?
Well, it's a long story there. Like, with the first thing I want to hug, it was my daughter. And my daughter, when I hugged her, she said, she was 3 years old, and she said, Mommy, 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 you're not going to go again, right? You're going to be with me. You're going to be with me, Mommy, Mommy, Mommy. It was Mommy, 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 the whole entire, and we was like holding like this, like so like attached, like tremendous. My mom also was like so happy too. My father too. Everybody. It was like 100 people waiting for me. They got mariachis, typical Colombia. They got food. I got like a lot, flowers and stuff. And then later that night, I have like something something with my father that I don't want to discuss this today here. But overall, I was so happy to come back home, and was so happy to hold my daughter again. Because when I was kidnapped, I said to God this, God, you give me a daughter, and my daughter was very, very delicate when she born, and you give me the miracle for her to be here. So I need to be here, and I want you to make me to be here and get me out of this. And I promise you that I will be your tool, your instrument to talk about this and be able to help other people. And that's what I'm doing. I keep my promise, and that's why you, Arjan, empower me to talk more about my story, because Kia knows a year ago I was so afraid to talk about my kidnap situation. I was so afraid, and I said to Kia, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. And listening to you, the other day you and me, we spoke. I said, that's it. I'm going to talk about it and
Yeah.
more and more and more.
Yeah, because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's also,
Right.
it doesn't work for everyone, but for us it worked.
I would say that we are so blessed, and we are here in this show today not by coincidence, because we are having same mission. And now we have like an hour and 24 minutes, and before we wrap it up, I want you to tell everybody a little bit of what you're doing now after that experience that you have.
Yeah. So, yeah, when I came back, people wanted to hear my story, and I started to share my story. In the beginning, there was not a message about anything. It was just sharing my story. And then later, I realized so many people take themselves hostage due to their maybe financial situation, their love life, the wrong job. So I'm telling them to look for the freedom in their life as well, because freedom is, I think, is the engine to unlock potential. If you feel free, if you feel the creativity, if you feel the power to do the things that you really want to do, it gives you so much more happiness, so much more power, and it will make the world better, because then the ideas that we might keep within ourselves, because we think no one looks for our ideas, no one is interested, no one listens to me, all those limiting conditions we sometimes live our lives in. I think we should breathe, and that's what I'm telling people. And I'm just one of the examples that shows that there's so much more power within ourselves and so much more possibilities. So I'm giving lectures all over Europe already for 15 years, and so many people have been reading me that I've been the catalyst in their life, and that's fantastic. I wrote a couple of books, and now I wrote a book for the American market, and that's my dream, that to grow as well, and it's already a bestseller on Amazon, so I have the seal on my book, so that was really cool. And tomorrow the real printing books start to arrive, so now it's only a how you call it, an ebook, but it's nice. And like I said, there's so many, like Kia told me, or you told me, told the audience, there's so many kids being taken into prostitution by force, and we also have to fight for them, because they're minor age, they don't have the power, their family doesn't have the power, the governments don't look after their own citizens. And with Free a Girl USA, but also Free a Girl Holland, we get them out of their misery. We bring them back home, or if the family doesn't want them back, we sometimes even send them to university. The School for Justice is really an interesting program. So the girls being exploded and trafficked, they can be the lawyers and maybe the judges or the district attorneys of the future. So they can start fighting the system that they became a victim of. So they're the survivors, and they are the change makers of the future. And that's also part of my job. So freedom fighter, one freedom for normal people and freedom for people in sexual exploitation.
Well, I definitely vibe with being a freedom fighter for sure.
Yeah.
And I just have to say something. It's really incredible what you're doing. I mean, truly, truly heroic. And you were heroic. It's just who you are, clearly, because you were heroic. That's how you got kidnapped in the first place, out being a hero. So even more so right now. But I gotta say, well, I heard what you were just saying, right? And I heard you say, if the family doesn't want them back, and that struck me.
Yeah, that happens sometimes, because in Indian culture, or sometimes Islamic cultures, if the girl or the woman is violated, it's for the honor of the family, they don't want them back anymore. So that's can you imagine that you don't want your child
I could
back?
just shed tears right now. That's like that's horrible. That's so horrifying.
Of course,
But truly beautiful that you look after them and help them to be freedom fighters themselves.
Yeah, in the future, definitely.
Yeah.
And I love that that I love that going to school for law to make freaking justice and to stop the
Yeah,
BS.
we have to fight the injustice and change the system from within, and they are, yeah, the best ambassadors for their own cause, of course. So yeah, that's really a great program. Everyone is proud of that, and the first student we started 4 years ago. The first students, um, yeah, are ready now.
They're
So
graduating.
yeah, they're graduating. Yeah,
We should do a show to bring them with you to our show.
Yes,
So
that's
they
a
yeah.
can,
great idea.
I will try to work it out because sometimes they're a bit afraid to show
yeah.
their, like you said, for you
Oh,
it's also a
we
big step.
understand.
Yeah, and they were also violated, and but we can
Mhm.
always try.
Try,
Yeah,
try.
I will find out and let you know.
Maybe they're like me. They're now not afraid to talk about it.
Yeah.
Hmm, we'll
Some of
see.
them they go out in the public, but not many. I will look into that. I promise, because
So
it shares. It's for the good cause, of course.
So
Mhm.
we know your book, the name is Held Hostage Arjan Erkel. There's an Amazon, you already say that. And also I have all the social media, and also you have a website where people can contact you, and also you coach people and help people to move forward in life, right?
Yeah, and maybe also freeagirlusa.org if people want to donate, because we need also donations. Yeah, they are. Yeah, feel free to have a look at that site because it's really important. I know how it is to feel neglected, to feel left out, and those girls, they also want to go back to their family. They also think, why isn't anyone fighting for me? And together we can fight them.
So
And
Arjan, I want to say something today to empower you more with the cause, because I'm a victim too, and I know how to feel victim. Hot Topics today wants to donate you $500 for your cause.
wow, cool. That's so nice. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't expect that. Wow. Yeah.
Well, we believe that you don't have to be like some sort of mogul or multimillionaire to be a philanthropist. It starts with just even $1, and you do what you
Yeah.
can to make this world a better place. And this is our part. So I'm so
Wow.
happy that
Cool.
we are going to
Thanks.
do
Yeah.
this.
I will tell my colleagues, and they will be happy. Because, yeah. Yeah. It's
I'm so
cool.
happy because you know what? This has touched my heart, and I'm a woman, and I just feel like I know how to be in captivity. I know how to feel under control with no freedom. And these girls are amazing, and I want to help about the cause and help you with the cause because you are a hero. And I admire
Absolutely.
you, and thank you so much to give us your time to us. And I'm
Mhm.
so blessed to meet you. And I know we are gonna continue working together and talk about this together.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, both of you, Gloria, Kia, thank you so much for being on your show. And
It
it's
has been
been
a
a
true
pleasure.
honor,
Yeah. So
for
great.
So,
sure.
so
Good.
Kia, anything you want to say before we put our Janet in the green room and then we wrap it up the show?
Well, I think you said everything really perfectly, Gloria, but I will say thank you so much for sharing your time and your story with us and being so candid and so open. And that I still have like a million more questions, but about all the other stuff that you do. So I would like to say that I hope that you'll come back to Hot Topic so that we can talk about your coaching and how you teach people to visualize and how to be freedom fighters in their own life, because that's a whole nother episode for a whole
Yeah.
nother day. So thank you.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you again.
like a businesswoman, let's have an part number 2 with you, right?
That's right. I love that.
So okay, I'm gonna put you in the green room. We're
Yeah.
gonna wrap it
Okay.
up,
Thank you all.
and if you can wait for us,
Yeah.
cool. If not, you can go, and we talk later. Whatever
Oh,
you decide.
I'll wait a bit.
Great,
Yeah. So,
awesome.
See you soon.
see
Thank
you.
you. Speechless.
No words.
This is life.
If you didn't feel something from that, are you even alive? I mean, thank you. Thanks, girl. Thank you. I agree with that. Just wow. Just wow. You know, sometimes we can get caught up in the rat race of life. Oh, love you back. Love you more, actually. You're amazing. I can't wait to come see you. I'm coming down there. Her husband does amazing photography. I'm trying to get a photo shoot, let me tell you. Anyway, like if you, oh, hi, Diana.
You know
Oh,
who
muy
is
bien.
Diana? Diana was the nanny of my daughter when I lived in Colombia.
Oh, hey, girl. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I think we get so caught up in life sometimes we forget how we can come into a lot of negativity, but we can forget that there are truly like dynamic, incredible, amazing people out there that are just absolutely like real life heroes, right? Like our essential workers and such, our Doctors Without Borders, and all of these people that just do these wonderful things in life. And it's so nice to be reminded that they're there. And I hope that everyone who tuned in today took away that there are amazing people out there. And I am thinking right now, what good karma. I must have done something good to attract such a wonderful person to come into my life experience right now. Incredible. And for everyone who tuned in to watch it, and for everyone who actually spends an hour and a half with us and watches this whole episode in the replay on YouTube and on Facebook Live or on our Facebook page, it's really incredible. I feel very blessed and grateful to all of you and you, Gloria, for being open and sharing your story again, because it's powerful. And like I told you, the first day I met you in our first one-on-one call at London Real, you had to share your story. You were meant to do it. So I'm
And
super proud of you.
I'm so happy to listen to you, and I'm so happy to have you in my life to guide me to be able to uh, say this story. And every day I feel much better, and every day I know this is my mission. And when I met Arjan, and the person who introduced us, him, Simone, I couldn't believe it, and I said, "Oh my God, I couldn't believe it." And we are two powerful stories, but we also felt the same things in the place, and that's powerful.
I agree. That was super powerful to hear them in contrast and to see how similar yet different they were in two different parts of the world, male and female, just super powerful. I think
Exactly.
just made such an impact on my life, and I hope everybody feels the same way when they see this.
Okay, my dear. So 1 hour and 37 minutes. We have to wrap it up so people don't get tired.
No, they don't get tired of us. Just kidding. But not really. I'm Kia Baker. I am the creator and host of the Female Veterans Podcast, Women Warrior Stories for the Veterans Channel, and success coach at London Real Academy. You can check that out at londonreal.tv, where our fearless leader might actually win mayor of London. It's crazy. So, oh, cool. And so I am so thankful and grateful that everyone tuned in today. I hope you really got something out of this episode. It was a special one. That's why it's so long. And if you are watching on Facebook, make sure to follow us and set your notifications so that you know when we come live. The same thing on YouTube, really, if you're catching us there. We haven't really started promoting our YouTube channel, but we are on YouTube, and you can Please like, share, subscribe, set your notification bell there. Drop us comments about topics you want to hear. Send us some love. We appreciate that. We'll send it right back to you. And thank you to everyone who has been sharing the love, sending us direct messages. I love those pictures of flowers and all the sweet comments or the emojis when you don't speak English. That's so cute. I'm just saying. I appreciate that. And I know that we both do. And so thank you. And I am sitting here with this incredible, I see you, George. Thank you for all the love. This incredible bombshell that's next to me, who is clearly super, super strong, a survivor, and a wonderful human being.
Well, that describes as me, Gloria Goldberg. Well, I'm Gloria Goldberg, the founder of the podcast Unbreakable Life with Glory, where I talk about depression, anxiety, and PTSD in a holistic way, a natural way to always make you feel better. And also the host and the founder of the bilingual show, The Gloria, where I talk about also about depression, anxiety, PTSD, one Friday in Spanish, one Friday in English, also to make you feel better. So tomorrow we wait for you. Tomorrow we have another show, amazing show at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And we can wait. And I hope to see you tomorrow, right?
That's right.
Okay, guys, see you tomorrow. Love you. And remember, support mental health. Around you is always somebody that need your help. And if you like open and be abundance with people will feel better. And this show is for you to help you to feel better. Thank you so much, and thank you for your time. And today was a long one, but a good one. Bye bye.